All right, today we're diving into something that's a real game changer in early education. It's a concept that basically flips the traditional classroom on its head, and it's all built around one simple, powerful thing, a child's natural curiosity.
So let me ask you this, just to get started. What if the main goal of a classroom wasn't just to teach facts, but to actually spark a kid's built-in desire to explore and to wonder? That question? It's the heart of everything we're about to unpack.
And we've got a fantastic roadmap for this. First, we'll nail down what a wonder room actually is. Then, we'll get into why this stuff matters so much for development. After that, we'll look at the actual blueprint for creating one, take a little tour of its different zones, and finally, see how it all fits into a real school week.
Okay, let's jump right in. What in the world is a wonder room? Well, it's a space built on a really simple but kind of radical idea that real learning doesn't start with a teacher's lesson plan, it starts with a child's own curiosity. To get more specific, a wonder room is this carefully designed, super sensory-rich space made just for kids between 3 and 6 years old. And here's the key. Instead of a bunch of plastic toys that do one thing, it's filled with real objects and materials that have no fixed purpose. They just invite kids to touch, to build, to explore, and to imagine in any way they want.
And this is where you really see the difference, right? You've got the typical classroom, often super bright, maybe a bit chaotic, lots of plastic. But a wonder room, it's intentionally calm. It's soft, it's inviting. Honestly, it feels way more like a cozy discovery lab than a classroom.
So why the big deal? Why does all this matter for a kid's development? Well, it turns out encouraging wonder isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. It has some seriously profound, research-backed benefits for their growing brains.
I mean, the benefits are amazing. Study after study shows that these kinds of spaces boost a whole range of critical skills. We're talking language skills, as kids try to explain what they're discovering, problem solving, as they figure out how to balance stones, even things like emotional regulation and the ability to concentrate, because the environment itself is so calm and focused.
And this is important. This isn't some rogue out-there concept. It lines up perfectly with major educational goals, like India's National Education Policy 2020 and the UK's Early Years Foundation stage. Both of those are all about play-based, hands-on learning, which is exactly what a wonder room delivers.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. But what about the how? How do you actually create one of these spaces? Let's get into the practical side of things, the blueprint for designing a room that just breathes curiosity.
You know, everything about the design is intentional. The furniture is low to the ground and easy to move, so the kids are in charge. The colors are calm and natural. Think greens and beiges, not loud primary colors. And there's a huge emphasis on natural materials like wood, stone, and fabric instead of plastic. It just creates this whole tactile, soothing vibe.
Now, a really great wonder room isn't just one big, empty space. It's cleverly divided into what you can think of as mini worlds. These little zones, each designed to spark a different kind of discovery.
So these are the 6 zones you'll typically find. Each one is a unique invitation to play, from getting your hands messy at a sensory table, to curling up in a cozy reading nook, to exploring how light and shadow work. Let's zoom in on a couple of my favorites.
First up, the sensory exploration corner. You could argue this is the heart of the whole room. This is where kids get to really physically engage with all sorts of textures, smells, and materials. And the magic here is that the materials are so simple, but the play that comes out of it is incredibly complex. We're talking about trays of sand, water, or rice, simple tools like scoops and funnels, boards with different textures, and even little jars with spices to get their sense of smell involved. It's all about that direct, hands-on experience.
All right, next up is another fantastic zone, loose parts and construction. This is where kids become little engineers, architects, and artists all rolled into one. There are just no limits here. See, the genius is in the materials. Instead of being handed a toy car, a child gets a pile of wooden blocks, some smooth stones, and a few cardboard tubes. A cardboard tube isn't just trash. Suddenly, it's a telescope. A pine cone isn't just a pine cone. It's a tree in a tiny world they're building. The possibilities are absolutely endless, and that's the whole point. This is how you nurture real, bottom-up creativity.
Okay, so you've built this amazing room, but how does it actually fit into the day-to-day of a busy school? This last part is all about putting it into practice, what wonder looks like as part of a real weekly routine.
This chart breaks it down really nicely. For the younger kids, the 3 and 4-year-olds, they might go a couple of times a week for shorter bursts, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. The older kids get slightly longer sessions, which lets them get a little deeper into whatever they're exploring.
And a session isn't just a chaotic free-for-all. It has this really nice, gentle flow. It starts with a welcome and a quick reminder of the rules, like using gentle hands. Then it's time for free exploration, where the kids completely lead the way. After a while, the teacher might offer a mini provocation, like introducing a really interesting seashell or a magnifying glass, just to spark new ideas. And it all wraps up with a little chat and tidying it up together.
And so we come full circle, right back to this foundational idea. The entire thing, from the color of the walls to the flow of a session, is designed to honor this one powerful truth, that real, deep, lasting learning always begins with curiosity.
Which leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. A dedicated Wonder Room is obviously an incredible thing, but the principles behind it, they can be used anywhere. So the real question for all of us, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who cares about kids, is how can we take these ideas and intentionally build more wonder into every single learning environment?